Hello everyone and welcome to Channel 18 TV News. I'm Don Julian. In the news, the official drawing for order of candidate names in the opposed places on the May 2nd Sulphur Springs City Council election ballot was conducted Thursday morning. Names for opposed places will appear on the ballot as follows. For place 1, J.W. Julian, then Mark Bradley, Vanessa Diostado, and Justin M. Brown's name will appear last. For place 5, Ricardo Chavaria's name will appear first, followed by Gary Spraggins. Names of the 4 unopposed candidates will also be on that May 2nd ballot, including place 2, Harold Nash, place 3, Oscar Aguilar, place 6, Doug Moore, and place 7, John Sellers. Early voting by personal appearance will be conducted between the hours of 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. on Tuesday, April 21st, and Thursday, April 23rd. Election Day voting will be conducted from 7 a.m. until 7 p.m., and that will be on May 2nd. Application for a ballot by mail should be mailed to Gail Roberts at City Hall. That's 125 South Davis Street, Sulphur Springs, Texas 75482, or email to groberts@sulphursprings.tx.org. Mail applications must be received no later than April 17th. Judge for the May 2nd City Council election will be Michael Wolf. Alternates will be Sheila Funderburk, Nell Fernie, Barbara Grubbs, and Tammy Calhoun. The early voting clerk is Gail Roberts, with Lisa Smith, Jody Price, and Ashley Floyd as alternates. An exterminator treated Sulphur Springs High School Monday for bed bugs. There have been no findings at any other district campuses, according to School Superintendent Michael Lamb. When the potential problem was noted in limited areas at the school, the maintenance director contacted an exterminator. The library and one other nearby area were shut down. Furniture was removed, not necessarily because bed bugs were found on the items, but because the items were identified as places that bed bugs could potentially be, according to Superintendent Lamb. The exterminator, according to Lamb, said bed bugs are a widespread problem in the area and across the state at the moment. He also described the issue so that staff would be aware of it and what to watch for. Lamb says it's his understanding that bed bugs can be spread in much the same way as head lice infestation. Bed bugs can enter the school on book bags, clothes, or individuals, then, like lice, jump and spread to other students, furniture, or items. They could also be picked up at locations or homes as well. Parents of Sulphur Springs High School students received emails through the school notification system Wednesday to make them aware of the issue, and so they could be alert for the potential pest. A blaze damaged an FM 1567 home around lunchtime on Thursday. No injuries were reported, but the home's garage was destroyed, and the kitchen living area it was attached to sustained smoke and water damages. The resident and his brother reportedly had been working on a lawnmower in the garage attached to the house. They had gone inside the residence to eat, and then a loud boom was heard. While there was no fire visible inside the house at that point, the occupants reported seeing heavy smoke covering everything in the driveway when they walked outside. All got out safely. No one was injured, according to County Fire Marshal Mike Matthews. Arbela, Hopkins County, Brinker, Miller Grove, and Picton Pine Forest firefighters responded at the location. Flames were blazing out of the garage where the door appeared to have been blown off. when the first fire unit arrived. They began an exterior attack on the garage. The blaze was spreading across the attic into the kitchen living area of the home. County firefighters began an interior attack of the home. Fire Marshal Matthews said the majority of the home was saved. Firefighters made a good stop on it, stopping it from going into the kitchen. He added the garage was a total loss. Cause of the fire officially is as yet undetermined. While it does appear accidental, no official cause has been ruled as further investigation is required, according to the fire marshal. In sports, the Wildcats and Lady Cats track teams opened the season at a tri-meet at Lindale with Sulphur Springs, Lindale, and Jacksonville. We get results first from Wildcats track coach Matt Young.
Yeah, we've been trying to have this early meet for about 3 years, and this is the first time the weather's cooperated enough. And we were able to do our dirt jumps and our high jump and our pole vault. Got a good start there. Weston Fields went 5'8". I don't think he's high jumped since 7th grade, so it's kind of nice seeing him out there. I think we had a couple of triple jumpers. Ch.18, Landon Fields were both in that 40-foot area. It was real informal as far as marks and jumps, but a nice start for those guys. Long jump, I think we had a couple of 19s. So we kind of like where we're getting started, and then really kind of excited where it goes from there field event-wise. Our distance kids, Jose Mejia ran a good race. I'm not sure what his time was. I think he ended up winning the 2-mile. But it was a cold day. It was a work day. Our distance guys, Jose Mejia, Evan Patrick, Camden Fuller, Kyle Snell, those guys, they went 2-mile, 800-mile in about a 4-hour period. So it was a workout. We treated it like a workout across the board. We could have 5 people in an event. So some of our sprinters kind of had the same day. 4x1 ran really well, got caught on the at the end, but Caden Davis to Caden Wallace to Weston Fields to Caden Eaton. Jacksonville had a hammer at the end and came and got us. But a good start getting the stick around. JV did as well. I think they won the JV as far as the 3 teams. So kind of pleased how we got going. Nabian Ramirez kind of picked up where he left off. He ran a 205 800 yesterday. He's really shooting to get into those 158s. If you get into that, now you're in the conversation at regional with a chance, and he's been working really hard. So really pleased with him. 110 hurdlers, we broke in all kinds of new guys last night. We had freshmen with Landon Fields, a Daniel Elam. We had a linebacker, Cameron Hargrave, make it all the way through. We had a safety, C.J. Johnson, who hadn't hurdled since he's been here. And they all cleared all the hurdles, so that was the positive there. Caleb Massey. They made it through the end of the race, and that was always the first step, especially when you deal with the 110 highs. Yeah. The 100-meter dash was kind of a tricky one. We had a group jump, but they didn't stop them, so the next group came behind them, so the times are kind of irrelevant. But they ran well. They were loose. With it being cold, you always kind of worry about things tightening up. 4x2 got off to a really good start with Ricardo Torres and Nabian Ramirez trying to load them up now as seniors. We just got to kind of really work to find our other 2 legs. Ricardo ran right after that, ran a 400-meter, ran a 54.3, which is right on where he always starts every year and gets down in those 50 points. So pleased that he was able to do those back-to-back. 300-meter hurdles, again, that young flight of everybody. We had even some other young ones, Matthew Brown, Antonio Kessler. I'm going to leave some of them out. We have so many guys we're really just trying to get in and get them a taste of it. Freshmen being their first meet, nerves and everything. And 200-meter dash was kind of a workout for us from C.J. Williams, Caden Wallace, Caden Davis, Bryson Lacey. It was a host of them running anywhere from 24 to 25. And you can see some of them kind of get tight, that 150, which is kind of normal for February. And ran our mile relay. Our milers ran, those distance guys, I mentioned them already, and our mile relay ran. Ricardo ran well in the first leg, Nabian a really, really strong second leg. And Camden Fuller's coming off of sickness. He ran a good, I guess we had him last leg, and then Weston Fields jumped out there and ran the third for us. So we're still looking for a missing piece in it, but I think we're going to find it. So it was a good start to get out and get a run. What's comforting for me is we host our meet next Friday. Yeah. We got 7 teams coming. I'll probably mess up if I try to name them, but Paris, North Lamar, Athens, Lindale. Then we got Commerce and a charter school coming out of Dallas. So there's going to be 7 of us, counting us. Field events will start at 4. We'll start running probably about 6:30. But now our kids have ran. So while we're running off the meet, we can trust them to go compete. And we'll have probably, we didn't throw any yesterday, so that's going to be another 7 or 8 guys. I know about 5 more that didn't go last week because of various reasons, didn't go last night. So we'll have a little bigger army to go and see if we can't bring a trophy home next week.
We now hear from Lady Cats track coach Ross Hicks.
It was a good meet. Unfortunately, the throwing events, the shot put and disc, it was just too muddy for them to go. So they didn't get to compete, but they'll be ready for next week for our home opener next week. And so we were able to work in the other field events, long jump. We had 3 participate in the long jump, and they all for the first time, we haven't even been able to jump out in the pits because it's been so wet. Yeah. This was the first time that it was a practice. We just laid out the tape and see how far they could jump, and a lot of them, it was cold, so it was hard to get loose, but I thought they did a really good job, and that was Messiah Dugan, Breasia Ivory, and Aaliyah Abram, who were all veteran members, and you're going to hear their names a lot this year from all the different things that they do on the track. We also had some success in the high jump. We had Aaliyah Abram, Brooklyn Burnside, and Delaney Miles, who were looking for big things. I think all those 3 have a chance to score at district and to potentially go on to area and even regional. So I'm very looking forward to our high jump crew that we have moving forward. We also had one participate in pole vault. Holding that in the cold weather, that makes it pretty tricky. But Claire Bybee jumped 10.6, which is close to her personal best of 11, and so she was. So for a cold day, for our first meet, we'll take it. Yeah. So those were the field events that we competed in this week. Running wise, we started out with the 4x100, and over the last couple years, we've had some excellent 4x100 teams. Last 2 years, we've broken our own school record 2 years in a row, and a lot of those girls have since graduated. But with that kind of a new culture has been built, and the 4x1 ran hand timed to about 51 and won their heat, or won out of the 3 teams, I should say. So they were very excited. It wasn't the cleanest of hands-offs, and they'll tell you that. And we had a little lane mishap, but we got to stick around and we're able to finish out front in that one. The 4x2. They consisted of, I'll go and tell you, that was Aaliyah Abram, Breasia Ivory, Vanessa Wayne, and Messiah Dugan, and so they did a great job. Though 3 of those ladies also participated in the 4x2, which they finished second in, and that was Aaliyah Abram, Breasia Ivory, Messiah Dugan, and then Justice Jones, who's a freshman, and again they finished second in that with a solid time. And again, handoffs weren't perfect, but that's why we have these early season meets. And with cold hands, it's a little bit harder to get around. As it warms up, we'll get faster and we'll get better. So then we had some other strong performances throughout. Breasia Ivory ran a really good 100 meter. She won the 100 meter. Delaney Miles ran a very good 400 meter. She's going to be very strong for us there. Lainey Hurst won the 800, and then we had Michaela Jimerson who finished third. In the mile and 2 mile, Sydney Washburn won both of those. She got out to a lead and just held on to it the whole time, and she's a senior, doing really good things for us as a team. Those were the highlights, but also we had a lot of younger ones that really competed well. Some of them, it might have been their first time on the track, or at least the first time in a year to be out there, and it was cold. And a lot of them I put in 3 running events just to get the it was a glorified practice to see their toughness. And man, they showed up in a big way. I was proud of the way they competed and the way that they conducted themselves throughout the night, and we're looking forward to big things.
The Wildcats and Lady Cats will be competing next at their own Sulphur Springs meet next Friday. Lady Cats softball team opened the regular season Friday in their own Sulphur Springs tournament, but oddly enough, they had to play on the road. That's where the dry fields were. Due to the wet weather, the Lady Cats played Prairie Land, Pleasant Grove, and Grand Saline Friday, on the artificial turf at Grand Saline. Then Saturday at Grand Saline, the Lady Cats will be playing Wills Point at 9:30 a.m. and then taking on Gilmer at 3:30 p.m. And the Wildcats baseball team's scheduled Friday evening scrimmage at Wildcat Park against North Lamar was canceled due to wet grounds. The Wildcats were only able to get in one of their scheduled 4 scrimmages due to wet weather. Wildcats baseball team will be opening the regular season next week at a Tyler Lee tournament. And that's Channel 18 News. I'm Don Julian. And thank you for joining me, and so long, everybody.